people who get chained up.
No.
Wait, Maya, who are the were white people slaves?
No.
Why?
Because white people can't be slaves.
Why not?
Because the people who the slaves work for don't say they can't. They're not allowed.
They're not allowed to?
Yeah, they're not allowed to. White people are nice. Black people are slaves.
Oh, so the black people are not nice?
Well, they are, but they have to be slaves because, the people who they work for captured them.
Oh, they did?
So who-
Well, how did the black people want to be captured?
No, they just did because the chains were all over the museum, and that's where they were sourced, but they weren't really in Africa sourced. But then they got flown here by a ship.
And did they didn't like the work they did?
No, not at all. They were partners. They were partners who cleaned both things at once, so they didn't have to be so hard work. But people didn't want to do that, so they decided not. But the people who they worked for wouldn't allow them to play.
Oh, but so at the museum, when you went to the exhibit today at the National Geographic Museum, did they talk about how the black people became free?
Yes.
How did they become free?
Kayla. When they went in a special room, there was no chains in there, so they could escape.
So they escaped, that's how they got free?
Yeah, if they were in that room, they could escape because there was no chains in that room.
Uh-huh. So, and Maya, do you know which president freed...
Yeah, but he's gonna do a camera.
Do you know which president freed the slaves?
No.
Hold on. What does it mean when the slaves were free?
It means that they can do stuff that they do want to, and they can escape and go back to their houses.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they're already slaves.
But what did they do if they was free? Did they work?
No, they couldn't. They were black.
So they couldn't work because they were black?
Well, they could work if they were black. They just couldn't find their way back to their houses.
Uh-huh.
Because they didn't have cars. The cars were captured and...
The cars were captured?
Yeah, and the slaves.
The slaves had cars, but they were captured, so they couldn't get home? Is that what you just, yeah?
Well, the people who the slaves worked for didn't allow them to get caught. They didn't want them to escape.
So who had the cars?
The people who were mean to the slaves.
Who were mean to them?
The people who the slaves worked for.
Who were those people?
Those people were presidents.
The presidents? So, Kayla, where did the slaves...
Jackie.
Okay, don't eat it.
Who freed the slaves, Kayla?
Abraham Lincoln.
What does it mean when the slaves were free?
It means that they can find the car.
Take Maya. Maya, your turn
The
anymore.
people who were working for Pharaoh could go back to their houses and they didn't have to work anymore for them.
Mm-hmm.
They could do whatever they wanted. They didn't have to work. They didn't have to play when Pharaoh said. They didn't have to fix the roof. They could do anything they want back when they...
So, when they were free, what happened to them? Where'd they go?
They went back to their house.
Oh, they did? And did they... who were the owners again?
Pharaoh.
The Pharaoh owned the slaves. But they were African American. This is what year was this around? What time period?
1944.
1944?
A little piece of pizza.
When you were at the exhibit today at the National Geographic Museum,
Mommy.
Did they talk about what war happened around the time the slaves were?
Kind of. There's a couple movies. There wasn't like people taking you around. You just went wherever you went.
Right. So Abraham Lincoln lived when?
I forget. Daddy?
Was it the Civil War, right?
Yeah, I want to tell you something.
Yeah.
We went into a room and you could pretend you were stuck in the jail, and then it had show you how tight the doors were in case you got out of the big chains. You couldn't get out of the doors.
You mean before you got on the ship
Yeah.
to cross the ocean?
And it showed you how hard. And Maya couldn't even lift the chain. It was like
What were the chains for?
the chains were to tie the people up so they couldn't move. Yeah, the chains were so hard and heavy. The slaves were not hard enough, strong enough to break the chains. So the chains were just carried to the dungeon by Pharaoh.
The Pharaoh lived when? When Abraham Lincoln? Same time as Abraham Lincoln?
No.
So wait, now what slaves are we talking about here? Are we talking about
Black people.
and with the Pharaoh lived during the slaves, the African American slaves? I think the Pharaoh lived during the time when the Jews were slaves in Egypt. Right? So it's the same word, but it's a different time.
Yeah, the dungeon was really strong and old now. It's still strong because it's wall and doors. Because I saw how the chains were and I lifted them. They weren't so strong for the kids, but the slaves were because they were black people.